level. We just saw Paul Kelly there before the end of the second quarter. The mail is now he's torn a hamstring. He will take no vote further part in this game and could be out for 2 or 3 weeks. Well, that is a massive blow to the Swans as we go into this third quarter. They're without McPherson and Nicks going in. And Sean, now they've got the 2 ruckmen here, Hawthorn. So will it be a free kick? No, it's Thompson who's the man going for the ruck. Well, what a time to introduce that tactic, which caused a bit of controversy earlier in the year. Woods' kick goes straight up and down. Tough one for Crawford, out wide. Leckers couldn't handle it. Dunkley. And Williams now just getting over the line and out of bounds.
The awkward bouncing ball, it's amazing, isn't it, when it looked as if it was going to the Hawks' advantage, sitting up against Angelo Leckers, and quite in the finish, happy to take it over with the Swans. Knocked away by Wren from the boundary throw in Rawlings, now taken by Matthews, but he's been dispossessed by his own man, which on that occasion was Jason Ball. The umpire could see the football going absolutely nowhere there, so has decided to bounce as Matthews regains his footing.
I wonder if they had to nominate who was going for the tap at the centre bounce here, Robbo.
Well, that's interesting.
Because Paul Williams was blocking out Red.
Certainly wasn't he? And the umpire quite prepared to just ignore it. Bolton working hard, but taken away by Cresswell. Gets the ball back there to Crouch. He kicks across his body. Oh, intelligent play by Kirk to just bring it back towards the corridor. Hawks will clear through Cox. He's affected quite a few kicks with good penetration on that occasion. Oh, well done by Chick. He was definite, wasn't he, in his tackle on Goods. The ball spills out wide. Here's a chance for Crode. If Crode comes into this game, he overruns a simple gather. Now kick forward Graham, back to Crode. Can't break the tackle, gets the handball away. This boy's done reasonably well, Vandenberg. Shares it with Tallis. Tallis a high ball in towards the forward 50 for Hawthorn. The spillage, no one can gather it. It was running onto it was Chick, but back it goes to Shawbull. Shawbull has got a great opportunity here. Ball is on his own. He gives it to the running player in Maxfield, who steadies after one bounce, delivers. He could do a little bit better because that's a little bit up and under, in towards the full forward area. Kicked away, it might be a goal. Oh, it's bounced to the left there, and a behind has been scored for the Swans by Brett Kirk. An opportunist, isn't he, that young fella there? He's already kicked a goal, he's had a couple of other chances, and they've gone just to the left. 6-4 to 5-4. Swans lead by a goal. The short kick in has been taken by Harford. Looks to play on. He's got a player on his own. It's Tony Woods. So the Hawks, what can they do here? He does exactly what Maxfield did, but Hawthorn player is on the end of this kick, and it's Thompson.
Well, you've got to ask the question from the kick out, who was on Tony Woods, and it looked like it was Darren Creswell. And we can just see underneath the ball, Nathan Thompson. He's a big man. Dunkley's a good mark overhead, but once you get him under the ball like that, you normally should mark them as he did on that occasion.
Well, this would be a tremendous fillip for the Hawks. No. Across the goal, good mark. Taken by Ball, shares it with Saddington. Runs through the right back pocket area. Hand pass over the top, Maxfield. He's on his unfavoured side and he coughs it up. Good effort back there by Vandenberg, was it?
Yep.
Oh, gee, those 1%ers are important, aren't they? Because that kick fell short. Rawlings in short to Chick. Hawks have still got the football alive. They're not quite to within scoring range.
Well, Maxfield's doing really well here, so he can't kick down the line. He has to centre the ball now.
Rawlings gets it back. He's further away from goal than Chick was, who kicked the ball to him, and goes short to Wren. Vandenberg, Rawlings. Well, still Rawlings. Maxfield doesn't quite know which one to go with.
Jason Ball sitting back in the forward 50, about 70 yards away from Sean Wren.
Wren goes short. That's okay. They keep possession of the ball. But one error here, and all of a sudden it goes bounding down the ground for the Swans.
So Tony Woods has to be so sure of his kick, sets it up in the end. Chick waits down, Rawlings on Thompson from the side. Gets a second crack at goal. And this time he won't have any trouble with the distance. It'll all come down to accuracy, and the scores will be level if he is accurate.
Well, you've got to give the Hawks credit there. They were patient. They knew Jason Ball was back in the spot. and they just kicked it away from the centre corridor. Jason Ball had to make some effort to get across there because Dunkley was hoping to have some help.
Well, the Swans went out of the blocks. They're away to a 3-goal lead early, and now scores a level after Thompson kicks it through.
As I said, give the Hawks some credit. Jason Ball was about 70 metres away. The long kick in. Andrew Dunkley was out of the contest there. You just wonder what happened on that occasion. You can see Andrew Dunkley following him in, and he knows that he had to be on his back. But just too easy a mark deep in the forward line for the Hawks.
Andrew Dunkley would be very disappointed with that because he's usually fairly reliable and gets to those contests. Nathan Thompson marking and goaling. Maxfield got past too easily and then threw it onto his left. A wobbly old kick towards half forward. O'Loughlin gets rid of his opponent, which was Graham, but it comes back to O'Loughlin. Graham, by gee whiz, he was lucky there, wasn't he? Michael O'Loughlin trying to back out of the contest. Graham gathering, and all of a sudden it might go forward. Gee, that was too easy. Crowe getting past. Crowe barnstorming his way down the ground. Can't get past the tackle, but before that, Tony had spotted an infringement.
Yeah, there was a free kick. There was a push in the back. This player, Kennelly, he chased very well, and the shepherd had jumped on top of his back, so good decision by the umpire.
Cresswell out wide at left half forward for the Swans. Matthews provides the lead. That's ignored. Cresswell will go long. He gets past his the player minding the mark, which was Sean Wren, goes in short, and it's taken by Kirk. He's a player that just bobs up, doesn't he? He doesn't command a lot of attention, but he just bobs up. He's had 8 possessions and he's going for his second goal.
He's kicked 1 goal, 1. This is 9%. You can just see it take Kennelly. That was a great chase. I haven't seen a lot of this player, Robbo, but gee, that was quick.
His kicking's good too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rawlings, the infringing player on Kennelly, but we're watching Brett Kirk go for his second goal. Good looking kick. Good kick. Goal. Swans it back. Brett Kirk has kicked his second goal. He, along with Adam Goods, are the multiple goal kickers for the Swans. Hawthorn, they are all singles at this stage of the game. Sydney 7-4, Hawthorn 6-4.
Well, that's a good finish by Brett Kirk there. Go back a little bit, Robbo, and anybody else, the young kids watching, Sean Wren on the mark. He had to stand on the ground. Once you jump on the mark, Darren Cresswell just got round him, especially if you're a ruckman. Just hem him into the boundary line, but keep your feet down on the ground.
Holland still off the ground. Loney comes on for the Hawks. Ball's in the ruck against Wren that time. Swans getting it forward, hitting it hard. Kirk wanted to keep it moving. Now Thompson, who really has made a bit of a statement, gets it forward. Barry from the side. He went for the mark, not the spoil. He's got Crouch. That's a great tackle. Play on is the call. Dixon a decisive touch. Woods gets it out wide for Barlow. He went one-handed, I think, there. Saddington, Barlow, we know he's pretty good in front of goals. If he can just get to his feet and have a shot, he couldn't do that. Barry tied against the line, and almost a deliberate fumble from Seymour to make sure it went over.
Well, this is a game of inches, and you look at Jason Saddington. He did very well on that in that contest. There's some of the matchup. Jonathan Hay, Greg Stafford. That it would suit the Hawks, I would think.
So Ball getting the tap down. Oh, Matthews takes it away and streaks out of defence. And his delivery was not too bad. It just missed the first target. O'Loughlin couldn't keep it in. And Matthews has been a terrific player for them this year. Today he's had 8 kicks and 4 handballs. And another reminder about i7sport.com.au. Get on the web at the end of the game for all the details. And you can have a look at that tap from Ball. And Cresswell and Williams, the Swans, advancing down the ground in convoy. Great work by Goods to step inside, but he couldn't get the kick away in time. So they've overdone it a bit, the Swans, and the Hawks can hit them back. Look at them steam down the ground now. Loney getting it off to Leckers. Back to Crawford. Quick kick through the middle. There's numbers everywhere. Crowe, Loney, got the momentum up. Let's fly. And what a kick from Nathan Loney.
What about Ryan sitting at home? They've both done it. See, it was a certainty, wasn't it, in running? As soon as he gathered the ball, the Collingwood jumper, the Hawthorn jumper, the 2 boys, they've both done it. Well done.
And they look, and just see it trying to be too cute. Adam Goods. But great work by the Hawks through the midfield here. They turned the ball over at half back. Good use of the hands. Righto, Loney got the first handball and kept running. Great conversion.
Oh, terrific play. I think anybody who's played the game of Aussie rules football loves to see the youth come out and put it on display, and Nathan Loney has done just that then. Tony Woods kicks it forward for Hawthorn. Knocked away by Dunkley, but the Hawks have the numbers. They're 3-1. Crawford just forces the ball in the direction there of Vandenberg. He got it back to Rawlings. Rawlings has it to Hawthorn mark. Taken by Barlow. He's about third in line. I tell you, there was a player there that was pretty good in that passage of play. It wasn't Thompson, it's Barker. Watch Barker here in the front there. That's Barker, isn't it? Yep. And he just took the Swans players' attention off the ball and it fell in the arms of Barlow. Barlow from right in front. Scores a level. No, they're not. The Hawks lead by 6. Barlow kicks his first goal. All the 8 goals for Hawthorn kicked by individuals: Crawford, Chick, Dixon, Rawlings, Thompson, Loney, Green and Barlow.
Red has just come from the ground. Nick Collins come on, and Nathan Thompson, who I thought was giving him a target up forward, has gone in the ruck. Go back to the centre bounce before that goal, Robbo. One person who's getting under the guard of the Swans is Tony Woods. He's had 19 kicks, or 19 possessions, and he's had 7 in this third quarter.
How will the Swans respond? Thompson won the tap, then moving it forward, the momentum suddenly swinging Hawthorn's way. Crouch got a high tackle, there's no free kick. Chick, he's been so strong right from the start. Bolton had nowhere to go initially. Oh, Dunkley's just too slow at getting rid of it. Chick might kick a goal. He doesn't. It's across the face, and I reckon it bounced just inside the line. Daniel Chick, 12 kicks and 8 handballs out of the full. He's a bit closer than I am. Shawball's releasing kick is not deadly accurate, but it does give time for the Swans to recover. Matthews kick, ball just stretching out, couldn't hang on to it. He's got a chance to recover here. Thompson nearby. Oh, that put the big man under pressure. Stafford had to go back before they could go forward. Matthews, nowhere to go. They're cornered, just blasts away. We need some O'Loughlin magic, he says. Doesn't get it. The Hawks defence standing strong at the moment. Williams, Hay, good tackle, but he didn't get the arms, so it wasn't as good a tackle as he would have liked. And Joel Smith runs it out.
There was no way known Joel Smith was going to keep that ball in play. Disguised that brilliantly then.
6 points the difference at Colonial Stadium. Hawthorn now in front. This is Wayne Swass off the wrong boot. He needed something extraordinary off his wrong side, and he got it! He got it! But it was just touched by Lucas. Gee, it kicked, didn't it?
Oh, I tell you. Why would you be there running back to the goal square and you knew the ball was going to sit up and it didn't do it, it just ran away from you. Oh,
it could have gone along the ground, but it sat up,
couldn't it? And that, as you said before, it's just a game of centimetres, isn't it? Kirk with the ball.
Well done.
Lovely little kick to the advantage of Matthews. He's got the ball and he will look downfield. He's had 3 or 4 possessions. That's not a bad kick either, across the line. The Hawks defence just getting a hand to it. Joel Smith certainly coming into the play now as a result of Paul Kelly pulling his hamstring, we believe, late in the second term. The kick by Smith, punched away by Seymour, missed by Stafford. Dixon can't break the tackle. Umpire says it's too high. Dixon will take the free kick.
Robbo, there's been a momentum swing, you can feel it. They're winning a lot more of the ball around the centre of the ground. Gee, a bit lucky to get that free kick.
He was too. 5 points is the margin in favour of Hawthorn, 52-47. Jade Rawlings has the ball at left half forward for the Hawks. He's too far out to score. He's probably 65, closer to 70 metres.
Nathan Thompson
calls him to play on. He kicks into the pocket. It's a mark. Taken by Barker. They're bombing up now, aren't they? Barker, Barlow, Dixon and Thompson down there for the Hawks. Wren is off the ground. Now Tony Woods has a rest and his place is taken by Tallis. Barker certainly within range. Angle, his greatest area of concern. There it is there for the viewer to look at. He does a pretty good job. He's popped it through. Barker goal. Sydney 7-5, 47. The Swans have kicked 1 goal so far in this term. Hawks have added 4.
Well, I said that the 3 forwards had to stand up. Dixon, Barker and Rawlings, and there was Rawlings to Barker on that occasion. This man must be super confident for the way he's played this year and had no doubt about converting from there.
What a quarter by the Hawks. In danger of taking complete control here. Thompson tapped it to himself. Stafford over the top. Umpire let it run on. Crawford got the handball out. Leckers, they're in again. Holland loomed, couldn't take it. Saddington, and they've got the numbers at ground level this time. Crouch under pressure. His kick was just a little wide. Goods didn't go for the ball, went for the man, but it cleared a path for his teammates. Swans, symptomatic of the Swans at the moment. They were fumbling early. Hawthorn. Now it's Sydney's turn to fumble, and Hawthorn are running with it. There's a couple of fluky bounces. Ends up with young Green, who's back on the ground. Crone kicking it wide, but there's plenty there for them. It just couldn't get there in time. Ball's out on the full. Hawthorn leading here by 11 points. 9-4 to 7-5. Fosdyke replaces Bolton for the Swans. Shawble with the footy. He has had 9 possessions. Probably hasn't had his best day though, Shawble. That kick was okay. Saddington. The Swans need a bit of a spark. He can go short here to Goods, who's on his own.
He's playing on Johnny Barker, Hutto, who's had 7 possessions, 1 goal, so he would have done his job to this stage, I would think, even though he hasn't had a lot of possessions.
Well, that's dangerous. That lets them in. That really lets them in. Shane Crawford strolling in the goal. What a lift this would be for the Hawks. Oh, it's close. It's a goal.
Oh, listen to this. If anyone at home could just watch this ground now, the brown and yellow, what a fillip that is for the captain. He's been criticised in the press today, and I'm sure that he's a man on a mission, Tony.
Oh, no doubt about that. He had to stand up as a leader and just see. Gee, that was hard for the umpire to tell whether that was touched on the line or not. But you're right, Robbo, after a little bit of lack of discipline early in the game, that is a great goal and a captain's goal. Just the way the ball bounced from him, you sort of said, this is my moment. And he grabbed it and took hold of it.
5 straight so far in the third term to Hawthorn, and the Swans have added 1 goal to, 2 goals to, 1 goal to, that is for the Swans. Now Crawford again, left foot kick into towards the half-forward line. Nick Holland couldn't take the mark. Getting back to Saddington, well done Barker. The efforts now of the forwards, all important. Shawble prepared to take it over for a boundary throw-in. As much as the Hawks are flowing towards their goal, the Swans can't get anything moving at all. It's very stagnant for Sydney so far in this term. Stafford got first hand to it. Green, what's he done? What has he done? What has he done from there? That is the most magnificent individual piece of play today by Stephen Green to kick the 11th goal for Hawthorn.
Well, if you needed 2 inspirational acts to get you into the mood to win a game, he kept his balance and he meant that. There is no doubt he meant to put the ball across his boot in a check side manner, and he's pretty happy, and so he should be. Stephen Green, his 2nd goal.
He knew it as soon as he kicked it.
It's the biggest margin of the game. Swans led by 20 points at one stage. But now Hawthorn out to a 23-point lead, and they are slaughtering the Swans at the moment. Absolutely slaughtering them out of the middle. Rawlings, locked on. He's got to get into the game. It's just about slipped away from him at this stage. Nathan Loney, another chance coming up. He's on the end of it. He's got one. They're getting them from all directions. And just a little bit over-ambitious there, Trent Crone.
Free kick.
Well, you talked about O'Loughlin. He had 15 possessions to half-time, has not touched the ball in this quarter. And Paul Williams is the other one. Gee, he played a big first half on Shane Crawford. He's had 2 possessions in this quarter also.
Player with the ball hasn't had much of it in this term either. Adam Goods had 13 possessions.
Nathan Thompson's been great in the ruck for the Hawks.
What a blitz. That's another terrible kick, really. Gave Kennelly no chance. Barker, they're just teaming so well across half forward. Tallis, it's wobbly, it's poor in the end. Swans need cool heads here. They need to control the ball. Oh, Kennelly handball pretty well as it turned out to Matthews. But Hawthorn is so fierce. They're winning all the tough contests through the middle. Cox, they'll hold it up. And we'll have a bounce in the middle of the ground.
Little passage of play there that they'll replay. Daniel Chick, terrific in and under. That's the bloke they want back on the ground, I'm sure. And it was a disappointment for all Swans supporters, the club in general, that he went off the ground at the end of the first half with a hamstring injury.
The only thing, Robbo, wouldn't have got down to him because it dominated so much across the middle of the ground. Inside 50s. Hawks are dominating at the moment.
Vandenberg got it out to Barker. Barker off the left. Bocce, that's... Oh, well. If that starts happening, Tony, Barker off the left from 40 metres right on the chest of Crode. Absolutely nothing that Adam Goods could do there, and Crode will shoot for goal.
Oh, you're right here. Non-preferred foot, and he did not have to change pace. One thing, Peter Swamp's got on the offensive too. He's taken Trent Crode to full forward, and that means Adam Goods has to play as a full back.
Crode should get the distance. He's 45 metres from goal. It's a big kick for length through the air, but not the accuracy he was looking for. And Keneally to come off the ground. He will be replaced by Lewis. That score, kicked by Trent Crode, now has the scoreboard reading 11-5-71 Hawthorn, 7-5-47. Margin is 24 points in favour of the Hawks.
That's a really tough mark taken by Fosdyke. Looks up ahead. Doesn't see much on offer. Dunkley a long way from home. Creswell, Kirk, overrun. Oh, could have got a free kick, but didn't.
Played all right, that kid, since he came on. Cox.
Thompson over the top. The Hawks are running again, teaming up. Woods are just firing in there time and time again. And John Barker has really been a great presence in this third quarter. He's had 9 possessions, 6 marks though, 1 goal, 1, and a goal here. And the Swans are just completely stunned at the moment.
Well, they're falling down across centre half forward. When you've got Brett Kirk, who would be a peripheral forward normally, he is their key position centre half forward at the moment.
So John Barker from 50, and he's missed. They've just had a couple of chances in the last few minutes to really put the Swans away. They are in complete control of the game. Mind you, the Swans seem to be in control early, so maybe if they could just hold off till three-quarter time and maybe steal a goal, that'd still be a chance. But it's going to be tough from here as Maxfield kicks in. They're marking everything at the moment. Nathan Thompson, what a game he's played. They're everywhere. The options are all over the place. Tough for Lewis to spoil here, and he couldn't. He couldn't spoil. Johnny Barker gets a second chance, and he takes this one. No! Hits the post.
21 marks to 9 in the third term, Hutto, so you're spot on there. Johnny Barker missing from point-blank range.
Tackles 12-2, so the pressure it's multiplied by the Hawthorn side.
Maxfield to kick in. They need to take a few risks. Keep playing the football they're playing. They'll get beaten, not by a big margin, but doesn't matter. It's an elimination final. You've got to take a bit of a punt now because they haven't troubled the scoreboard for the best part of 8 to 10 minutes. Sean Wren, Billy Nichols. There might have been Daniel Harford in the background there warming the bench for the Hawks. Big punch away. Came from Dunkley and has found the safety of the boundary line.
Robbo, looking down into the Swans forward line, Paul Williams, I know he's had 2 possessions this quarter. They need to get him on ball now because they haven't got any run through the lines, and he gave them to them in the first half.
Ruck contest fairly well negated, and it trundles over for another one in very much the same area. Great goal kick by that young fella earlier in this term. Paul Kelly, disconsolate. Chick has a rest, and the fans really realise, don't they, the pluses of Daniel Chick. He's been replaced by Nichols. Umpire calls play on from the boundary throw-in. Football going nowhere. It will be bounced just forward of centre wing.
Thompson was a bit unlucky then. Lewis hanging on for quite a while.
Tony Shaw just on Wayne Swass in this third quarter. How's his stats, mate? The midfield has been slaughtered, Sydney, haven't they?
I'll get back to you in a second there, Dougie.
So from the bounce, the umpire's found a free kick.
Gee, they're ringing the trains as the Hawks. I think they're just thinking, let's keep our players fresh. We've got a lead now.
2 kicks to Schwass so far in this term. Loney has the ball in the middle of the ground. Just a little undecided as to where to go. Gee, they've been marking everything, so he bombs it up into the right forward pocket, punched away by the Swans defence at the feet of Fosdyke. Cox got the hand pass away. Here's Barker again, hasn't he grown? Oh, well done. Spotting was all right, and the delivery in the finish, it wobbled through the air a little bit, but this fella here, he looks as if this stage has just been made for him, doesn't he, Stephen Green?
Well, he was brilliant last week, and again, Johnny Barker on his non-preferred, just in stellar form at the moment. I've got one thing about Steve Green which I think stands out. I think he's a natural footballer and he's got a good football brain. There is a difference about athletes and footballers, Robbo, as you know.
Well, he'll kick his 3rd goal if he can kick accurately here, and he is left wondering, goes off to the left, so another behind to the Hawks. They went into this term 5 goals for. They've had 10 scoring shots to 3, and still Sydney clinging on to some semblance of a chance. Hawthorn 11-8-74, Sydney 7-5-47, margin 27 points in favour of Hawthorn.
Well, they're a completely shattered unit at the moment, the Swans. Schwass trying to embolden them with something. Oh, he's put the pressure on O'Loughlin.
That's what they've got to do, though. See, Schwass forcing them to move the ball and run with it.
They've carried the ball up to the wing. Kirk's delivery is excellent. Creswell need to get all these big names. Kirk kept on going. He's about 70 from goal. The delivery was great. Oh, fumble. It was going to go all the way to Matthews. Seymour came over the top, and as a result, the Hawks have got it, and they can go the full length. Look at them streaming down the ground. Tallis, lots of space to work in. And Barlow takes the mark. He's got a man running back who's Graham, but he went for it himself, and he misses. And once again, an opportunity goes begging.
Well, you could nearly see the game before your eyes then, couldn't you? Just going all the way down the ground, turning the ball over. If they come back and convert into a goal, this game was over. They're just hanging there by a thread, as you said, Robbo.
Gee, Brad Seymour did everything right, Tony, to force himself down there and then drop the mark. He's back in defence and watching Matthews clear the ball from the right back pocket area. Strong mark, excellent mark taken by Ball. Got the ball off to Lewis. A bit of a fumbly old kick. Oh, Schwass. Was that a free kick? Not paid. And back in after it goes again, but a free kick has been picked out seconds before that. And it will go to Hawthorn, maybe against Williams, was it?
Yep, bowling the ball, not getting rid of it.
In time.
Lekas okay, the tackler, and he will take the free kick for Hawthorn just behind the centre of the ground here at Colonial Stadium. The fans absolutely treated indoors with the roof over, and the 4th final of the weekend, Hawthorn controlling it right at the moment, 11-9-75, Sydney 7-5-47. I repeat, the Swans have kicked just 1 goal 2 in this term, and it has been a terrific quarter for Hawthorn.
Robbo,
they've added 6 goals 5. Sorry, Doug.
Sorry, Robbo. Ben Dix has just come from the ground, and his ankle now has just been iced. He may have hurt his ankle.
Football is in the hands of Trent Crode. Well, they don't need injuries, do they? This is an important 4 weeks for every team, and injuries are so important to anyone who is going to participate in the finals in the next 3 weeks.
Well, they've effectively iced the clock. They mightn't get time as a result of that to have a shot for goal. Nick Holland would have to kick a Jeff Ferry or a Malcolm Blight to have a chance to worry the scorers from here. He hasn't had a big day in terms of stats, hasn't spent a lot of time on the ground, but they'd be rapt that he's out there, and so far still in one piece. He goes for a monster taunt. I tell you what, that is a great effort. It'll amount to nothing, but that is a great kick from Nick Holland. What a quarter by Hawthorn. They kicked 6 goals 5 to 1 goal 2. And that will be enough, you would think, to see them into another week of finals football. The Swans are completely shell-shocked, completely shot to pieces at the moment. Shane Crawford, the pressure was on him, led the way in that term, kicked the great goal, and the Hawks in command at this stage.
Centre line, you're beaten sound in that third quarter in the centre of the ground.
We put in a few fresh legs. Jude Bolton, Nick Fosdyke, Ty Keneally on the wing. We just gone with a few young guys to try and run in the last quarter.
Good luck, Steve.
Last quarter from Colonial Stadium. The Swans have overloaded their forward line. All their stars are up forward, so all the eggs in one basket. Can they get the ball down there? No, it won't help. It's a free kick for hanging on. It's going Sydney's way, going Hawthorn's way to Harford. And he gets it forward. Barker, tough for Sean Wren, actually. Tough for ball to spoil.
What about the free kick at the centre? I know it's there, but
I didn't see it then, Robbo.
It's just a jumper holding incident.
Well, if you hold on, you have to pay the penalty. But just one, in they're throwing all their eggs in one basket when you're talking about.
There's someone being decked down there in the forward line. It's Daniel Chick. Might be a report out of this.
Yep.
Dunkley maybe gone. Didn't quite see it, but the crowd told us what happened.
Oh, he was trying to do a block. It was like a basketball move, the screen.
Well, this happens a lot in football. If that's 50 yards off the, and I know that then I think he also lifted the arm. Then it has to be a 50-metre penalty too, because a report's been made.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, it doesn't have to be, but it has been. And the thing is, though, this happens a lot by the forwards. And it should be paid against if they make contact as Wren comes in for an easy goal.
Well, that almost puts it beyond doubt. Almost, not quite. 12-9 to 7-5. And what a miserable day it has turned out to be for the Swans. O'Keefe was first, Kelly went down next, and now Dunkley's been reported.
Well, let's have a look at it now. If Chick's trying to block, which he was, but Dunkley was fairly crude, no doubt about that. But Chick was no doubt not even running towards the ball, running across to Shepherd on Dunkley. That's got to be a Shepherd 50 yards off the ball.
And Daniel Chick is still on the ground. There's theatre in football still. Don't worry about that. Well done by Sean Wren. He's had just an average day, but he's kicked a goal and then got that centre clearance. Taken by Dunkley. He's prepared to hold his head high, even though we feel he may have been reported. That awkward bouncing ball for Jason Ball. Well done. Got it into the path there of Schwass. Then effected a tackle on Leckis. Gathered by Graham for the Hawthorn side. Short kick has been taken by Kirk, and he looks to play on. He hooks the ball into the danger zone as far as Hawthorn are concerned. Great leap and mark taken by Dale Lewis. You just never know, do you? Dale Lewis is the sort of bloke that we've seen over his entire career, a player that can kick goals, and he should kick one here.
Do you think the occasion of a final would be big enough? But let's look back to St Kilda last week when the Hawks looked like they had the game sewed up. And there you can see Dale Lewis, very experienced player. Great kick by Brett Kirk. He's been a very good forward for the Swans today.
Kirk has had 14 possessions. He's kicked 2 goals, but Lewis has missed. Well, if you're to get out of trouble, you've got to kick those goals. There is only 18 minutes left in the season for Sydney. And that was a bad miss by Lewis.
Yes, an incredible miss, really, as far as the Swans' chances are concerned. Joel Smith to bring it back for the Hawks. Goes out for Hay. Ball. Imposed himself on the contest, but couldn't take the mark. And Hay runs it over.
I think something's got to be done about that shepherding off the ball. No doubt Chick deserved a free kick there, but that's got to be looked at in the future of our game, I think.
Well done by Stafford, controlled it, down to Kirk. Matthews, back to Stafford. He persisted, but he lost it. Wren. And another bounce.
The real competitor in Sean Wren's coming out now, Robbo. A couple of centre bounce clearances, went forward quickly. Just then got a hand in to keep that, or form that ball up.
No doubt about that. He's a very proud man. I'm sure he'll play the game right out as we watch him contest this bounce at half forward. Crawford, Vandenberg, Joel Smith. I think you tipped that, Tony, that when Paul Kelly went down just before half-time, it just might work in the favour of Joel Smith. Green, there's another tricky little kick. How about that?
That is sensational play.
That's just class, sure, isn't it? Absolute class.
It's a player who knows what he's doing every minute of the time that he is on the ground. The handball never went to him. Joel Smith, as I said, he's been released since Kelly's gone. But he meant that. He saw him out of the corner of his eye, knew he probably wouldn't make the distance himself. There's a future there.
Thompson going for his second goal. Hawthorn for their 13th. He misses to the left. So Thompson 1 goal 1 in the scoreline for Hawthorn 12-10-82. Sydney 7-6-48. Johnny Barker, he had a terrific third term. He's kicked 1 goal 3. We're watching Maxfield kick in for Sydney. Gets good distance, well outside the defensive 50. Stafford couldn't take the mark. In there was Barlow, Crawford. At the bottom of the pack, it's Andrew Dunkley, is it? And the umpire has called for a bounce. It's at right half forward. And if you want all the updated information over this first weekend of finals, you'll get it all on i7sport.com.au. It's Bruce McAvaney's turn to let you know his thoughts on what's been happening over this vital first weekend of finals.
Stafford has kicked it very wide. Goods just getting their hands to the ball before it was over the line. A free kick, it's a soft free against Crode, goes to Goods. So the Swans, maybe they get something moving. O'Loughlin, oh, he edged him out nicely. Doesn't hit the ground, he needed to prance on it, he couldn't. Crawford, straight to the line. (12-10) Hawthorn, 7-6 Sydney. It's a pretty disappointing attendance of 32,910. Half forward, good thump away by Wren. Tony Woods just banged it away. Schauble held his ground that time against Rawlings. Took the mark.
Matthews, no.
Goes for Fosdyke.
Matthews will get it now.
Matthews has pushed forward out very wide. Depends on what bounce he can get. Now he's got space ahead of him. We know all the stars are up forward. One of those stars is O'Loughlin. Stafford. O'Loughlin just couldn't get moved the ball. Could have been holding the ball. Williams, the desperation of this Hawthorn defence has just been sensational. And Brett Allen calls for a bounce. The Swans kicked their last goal 7 minutes into the third quarter. So it's been an entire quarter without a goal, and you can't win finals doing that. They need one desperately here. Lewis, who missed the shot before, straight to Nathan Loney, who doesn't quite clear the zone. Kirk getting it wide. Swass trying to get onto his left, trying to wind up. He couldn't, had to go back to Kirk. Good kick to Stafford. He's all on his own. He could pass it over to Matthews. He won't.
Well, it mightn't mean a lot because the year might be coming to an end, but Brett Kirk has been so impressive. They run to the pump here and he received this ball. That's the second time he's centred. He centred to Dale Lewis about 5 minutes ago and he missed the goal. Very intelligent play.
They need this and 5 more unanswered goals if they're to win the game.
Well, it's a massive task, but it all starts here with Greg Stafford. Good kick. He's pretty good kick at goal generally, and that one's safely through.
Still plenty of time left. There's 14 minutes left in the game, and the opportunities are there, but they've got to stop Hawthorn from kicking a goal and get 5 themselves.
They had to be impressed with him, Robbo, today, Brett Kirk.
No doubt about that, Tony.
The one thing about it, though, Robbo, they got another couple of quick ones. Again, the thought process goes back to next week.
Yep.
You go back in your shell. You don't know what can happen in a game.
Well, can we escape, says Rodney Eade. And Georgie Stone in the coach's box there for the Swans. They've got to affect these set of clearances. They put pressure on the youngsters, according to Steve Malaxos. The ball is at half forward. All important possession here. The Swans will get it. Now can it come out wide? It can to Bolton. He's another one of the youngsters. He's got it! It's a goal! The Swans are back within 4. Jude Bolton gets his second goal. And amazingly, the Swans just keep their hopes alive. Their fans still here in big numbers. 12-10 to 9-6 margin, 24 points.
Well, just out of the centre bounce, you said they've had a lot of faith in the young kids. That was Jude Bolton who cleared it for the centre bounce clearance. We talk about hard running, and Paul Salmon spoke about it at half-time. To get up to the ground and go through the lines and kick a goal under enormous pressure, This game's still on, Robbo.
22 points is the margin in favour of Hawthorn with 13.5 minutes left.
Crawford's still going to have a say in it. Wobbly kick. Nick Holland just back on the ground. He's got Chick peeling off. And Crode. On his day, he can really nail them, Nick Holland. He doesn't think he can this time. This mate can. He can nail them. He can nail them into next week. He's done it! Nathan Loney! What about that kick?
Not since we've seen the Cracker brothers play for the Kangaroos. You've seen two boys play nearly identical. Both left footers. Ryan playing with the Magpies and this boy making a name for himself now with the Hawks.
Well, we talk about designated kickers. He has to be one. That was a setup. He's playing behind the ball, waiting for a handball, and no doubt Nick Holland knew he could not kick the goal.
Well, the answering goal by Nathan Loney for Hawthorn takes the margin back out to 28 points. Goods trying to run onto it. Gee, Tallis is a desperado in and under. Got the hand pass to Crawford. Little kick. Equally as deft was Thompson. Stephen Green is marked. The lucky little kick off the ground by Thompson. Plays on quickly, goes out wide. Crode will get to 50 and bomb away. Crode. Trent Crode, it's coming back. And not quite far enough for the Hawthorn fans. Scores are behind.
Well, there's another man who you would give the ball from outside 50. It mightn't be accuracy, but you know the distance was never a worry with Trent Crode. That would have put him away.
29 points is the margin with 13 minutes left.
What a miserable afternoon for Paul Kelly it's turned out to be after a great start. Good body work by Nathan Loney. He is growing in confidence. We know all about Ryan during the year, but Nathan has left it till very late in the year to make his mark. He certainly made it this afternoon. 11 possessions and 2 wonderful long goals. Goods trying to lift his Swans. Barlow made the steal and he could have put it beyond doubt. But again, he missed. Back to 5 even goals.
Been all right too.
12 to 9-6.
Barlow's been all right. 13 possessions. He's kicked 1 goal too.
There's Ben Dixon on the bench. Looked like he hurt his ankle earlier in this quarter. Swans are going to take some risks up the centre of the ground as they do with Maxfield from the kick in.
Yes, he blasted up the ground. Good body work though. Nick Holland showing some signs. And the Hawks will need him up and about if they're going to have a say in the finals in the weeks to come. That's if they win today. Crawford from outside 50. He's off now. Has to kick from the standing start. Barker used his body. Used his body well. Just eased back nicely.
This is a perfect example of the tall blokes getting no shorter as the game wears on, huh?
Yes, no doubt. And just the body. You'd love to be in this position, though. Leo Barry's a pretty strong player. But as I said, he's been in stellar form for the year, John Barker. He would have been that confident when that ball was in the air that he was going to hold his own. And he did it quite easy in the end.
He's kicked 42 goals for the year now, John Barker. This one to finish them off.
Again, they had to take risks, Robbo. Maxfield kicking the ball up the centre of the ground. You just got to know that it was going there. Shane Crawford had the play on in the end. Just gave it some height. And he didn't have enough help there, Leo Barry. You need another man over the top. They've got to take risks, the Swans, and that's how that came about for Shane Crawford.
Well, Georgie Stone, who worked at Hawthorn, and Rodney Eade, of course, carved out a wonderful career with the Hawks, both with the Swans, and they're watching on as their old club lead this game now by 6 goals, 14 goals, 12 to 9-6, 36 points is the margin. That's Raiden Tallis. And not big stats, but he just proves to be a nuisance on occasions to his opponent, drives him mad and perseveres. And if you get the 22 players all having a bit of a dip like that, you've got to be some chance of winning a game of footy. Crawford in towards half forward, punched away by Seymour, but at the fall of the ball is Barker. He anticipated that pretty well. He got loose, and he kicked the goal. He kicked the goal of the night. That is sensational by Barker. shouldn't take anything away from Stephen Green, I guess, but Johnny Barker's had a little bit of trouble. Before his last couple, he kicked 1 goal 3, he's kicked the last 2.
Well, the ball's come in, and you should see the numbers of the Hawthorn players around that contest there. You could see 5-1, and I'd be thinking that should be a handball from ground level. It was team rules, but when you're in the form of Johnny Barker, you can have some licence, and he took it on that occasion, and they know they're in the next week against Port Adelaide in Adelaide.
What an exuberant team they are now, the Hawks. They've had a magnificent game since quarter time. It was 4 goals to 1 at that stage. They've kicked 14 goals to 5 since then. And they've absolutely flogged the Swans, who lost their captain, Paul Kelly, just on half-time. They were clinging onto the lead at that stage, but they looked under threat. Good's having a run in the ruck now against Thompson, who has controlled it. Crode. Kirk, who's probably been the Swans' best, just about. Surely that's too far out. Loney doesn't have a shot this time. Goes for Holland. Saddington. Chick, just trying to keep it in, and the Swans trying to keep it out.
What do you do with Nick Holland there, Shuri? I know he's in much football, but those shoulders, just let him keep going around for the rest of this last quarter?
Well, yeah, I would, Dougie, and in that last marking contest, there's no way known he put his hand up to mark above his head. He's still not 100%. I don't think he's 60%, as that ball's gone over his head there. But just prior to that, he did not get his arms up. He's playing out there, Robbo, with one arm probably, you can't get above his shoulder. Well, here it is here. Now, see if he stretches it out as much as we couldn't get, but you could see there was no impact to getting it up. He's got no power.
Johnson and Johnson have run out of tape too.
Yes,
it's all on Nick Holland's shoulders. The kick forward has been well marked by Lekas. He's fought back and has finished on top, as has a lot of his teammates. Tony Woods kicks in forward. Mark is taken by Saddington. Saddington across that full-back, half-back line. He decides to run to the near side after one bounce. Kicks it to pretty well a contest. Well, there he is.
He got
those arms up and he took the mark right in front of you, Doug.
Well, his arms are pretty good at the moment, Shuri, I reckon.
Yeah. This boy's done pretty well too. Barlow coming up for possession number 16. I mentioned before he's kicked the goal, a couple of behinds, and a good kick too. That's a terrific kick, isn't it? From 45 to 50 metres out into the face. It's amazing, you know, when you're leading by 6 goals, the things just flow for you, and Barker is going to finish this game in fine fashion.
Well, I thought up to half-time he was controlled, but since half-time the Hawks have been in their 50 32 times to 12.
John Barker going for his 4th goal. He's kicked it 2. That is a great kick. A magnificent kick by Barker. 4 goals 3 against the name of, he kicked 1 goal 3. So he's kicked 3 straight, and he's the leading goal kicker for Hawthorn with 4.
Just had a lot of space that they didn't have in the first half. They have found, especially late in the 3rd quarter, and this last quarter they have dominated. 4 goals, a great return.
Well, it's showtime now, isn't it, for Hawthorn? 16-12 to 9-6. Thompson. Green. Woods. Quick kick forward for the Swans. Doubling back O'Loughlin. And Joel Smith takes it to the line.
I think he breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Paul Kelly pull his hamstring.
Yeah.
This is where Nick Holland showed Tony Shaw.
Oh no, I still disagree. I don't think he's going up as hard as you can. He sort of takes 2 motions, so it doesn't hurt him as much.
Free kick to Hawthorn for hanging on. Graham picks out Lekas. On the overlap, Billy Nichols has to work hard for this one. He does work hard. Goods got the run of it and takes it out of bounds. Temporary relief only for the Swans.
Gee, it's a comfortable margin now, isn't it? 48 points, 8 goals now.
They can do it, Hawthorn, when they're on song, can't they? They're a very confident forward-running team.
Swass gets it wide. Cox Terrific ball handling from Adrian Cox. Punching it up. Harford wanted to get it moving. Couldn't get Barlow. Williams might get a free. He does.
Gee, he's looked sore the second half. I don't know whether they know something we don't, because he's got the socks down, Paul Williams. In the third quarter, spent all the time in the forward line, and now he's in the back half for the Swans.
Kirk off the left boot. Shawball's pushed forward here and runs onto it well. Suddenly it opens up for the Swans. It's too little too late. That's a poor kick anyway. Thompson got in the road. Lewis trying to invent a goal. O'Loughlin takes the mark. It's all academic now, really, for the Swans.
I just wonder, Hutto, the way that they utilised the bench Hawthorn during that third quarter, that their leg speed and their freshness has been fantastic. And there's the angle that Michael O'Loughlin has to kick from. I don't think he had any trouble with this.
Well, he's pretty close to goal, isn't he? And he rams it right through the middle. Sydney's 10th.
Well, Andrew Shawball, he's been pushed to centre half forward, just trying to find the spark, but it's gone now, no doubt. Nathan Thompson, gee, I reckon he's been one of the best players on the ground. Maybe hadn't had a lot of stats, but had a big impact in the centre bounces. And Michael O'Loughlin, a very quiet day today.
O'Loughlin, before that goal, had kicked 34 goals for the year from his 22 matches. And now that's his 35th, but we're watching Daniel Chick run away with the ball, kick it. Gee, the difference is amazing, isn't it? Earlier on, they were fumbling and bumbling and missing marks, and now it's clean possessions. It's beautiful kicks, as this one is from Barlow. The kick was from Chick to Barlow and Crawford. Well, your man has come off the ground, Tony. Paul Williams.
Yeah, it looked like he hobbled off too.
Keneally onto the ground for the Swans for the last 6 minutes of the game. There is Paul Williams with Paul Kelly. It's a sorry sight, isn't it? He was whacked in the eye early from an indiscretion from Trent Crode's knee. That's why that bandage is around his head. Crawford into the pocket. Good stretch by Nichols. Gee, he looked anxiously at the boundary umpire, but he was given the all clear. This would really punish the Swans, wouldn't it? Because that angle is a very tight one.
Oh, look, you just don't know. The way that the high that they're on at the moment, nah, not that time.
Well, he scores behind Billy Nichols. That's his first score. He spent quite a bit of the match on the interchange bench. He's had 9 possessions. Ian Dicker would be pleased with his Hawks. They did struggle to break the shackles early, but as Hutto said, they've added 15 goals to 6 since quarter time. The kick in is all right. Mark is taken by Matthews. He goes back to Max Field. He didn't take the mark. Here's a Hawthorn goal, is it? No, it's rushed through for a behind.
Robbo, one player, and you just saw him on the screen there. Richie Vandenberg, he hasn't had a lot of possessions yet, 14 possessions for the game, but I tell you what, his tackling and pressure has been a great example to his teammates.
Why wasn't that a mark?
Because they said it hit the ground, he didn't get it on the half volley, or he got it on the half volley.
Fair enough. Matthews to kick it back out for the Swans, out towards the wing. Oh, well gathered by Nichols, got it back to Cox. Two of the lesser lights at Hawthorn, but they're doing a job. Into the forward pocket area, Chick tried to share it there with Loney. Gets it back to Chick. Chick is deep in the pocket. The angle is a difficult one. Short kick. Back there to the forward pocket region. Chick has still got a chance. He's going to get it, isn't he? Oh, they're bumbling there in front of goal. Woods has got it. It had to come. It just had to come. Goal to the Hawks.
No, there's a free kick, I think.
Is there?
You know, that's so cruel. Tony Woods hasn't kicked a goal all year. He had a bet on about whether he'd get one or not.
Tell you what, Tony Woods has been fantastic today. 24 possessions.
There's the bounce of the ball there.
Bad luck, young Kennelly. Green into Chick. Well, they're gone completely down, the Swans.
I tell you what, Hutto, Sydney, since making the grand final in 1996, when they played the Kangaroos, they've played in 6 finals, and they have lost 5 of them. Their record since '96 has been very ordinary.
Daniel Chick, one of the few Hawthorn players who you could say has played 4 quarters of good footy. And he celebrates with the goal. That's his second.
Well, it's all coming apart at the seams. Still not long to go for the Swans. But just then, the kick out again. They've had some problems with the kick-outs today. Just didn't make it a bad bounce for Tate, Keneally, and young Green just sets up Daniel Chick.
And you can see the time remaining there. It's going to be a comfortable victory for Hawthorn in the finish. Woods again. Mark taken by Seymour across that half-back line to Maxfield. Maxfield kicks quite well in the finish in the area of O'Loughlin. The bounce favours O'Loughlin, gives the hand pass away. Keneally could kick a goal. He unselfishly decides to give it off. And the kick was pretty good. The mark is taken by Stafford right in front.
Well done. Well done. Showed some poise there. Could have blasted it away. But Robin now will set up. He's got a good style for a player who hasn't played our game for long. He runs the line. He's very quick. We just have to worry about his decision-making process under pressure, which he hasn't felt a lot, as Daniel Chick is trying to urge the Hawthorn supporters.
Tell you what, he's missed that, hasn't he, Stafford? Or has he? Missed it. Gee, his miss and Dale Lewis, the miss from Dale Lewis earlier in the term, well, that one not so critical, but certainly Dale Lewis's would have given them just a stronger opportunity to get that a little bit closer to the Hawks.
1-2 of it's Dale Lewis's last game. Cox out of defence, onto the wing. There's a good mark by Schauble. Put it to the wrong side of Maxfield. Had to kick quickly. They're all Hawthorn players. Just teaming up across half-back. Lekas, I think, forgot which way he was going for a minute. I think he was going to go back and have a shot. Nick Holland, and that will really warm the hearts of the Hawks fans. The fact that he's got through. Now Smith gliding through the middle. Delivery to Chick was first class. And Daniel Chick can go back for number 3.
Well, you love it being in a player of this player's capabilities in his hands. Joel Smith, never any doubt he was going to find somebody. Just want to be on the end of it, Robbo.
Oh, no doubt. The cat that got the cream, Daniel Chick, when he saw Joel Smith with it.
So from right on 50, Daniel Chick, it's a helicopter. It's wobbly, but it's through. More jubilation for this Hawthorn team. They've had a miserable second half to the year. But it's all gone right for them in the second half today. 18-14 to 10-7.
We just wonder, Robbo, about the momentum they can build from this game. If we saw what they did in the first 8 rounds, and then they capitulated, really. I think 5 games in 13 weeks they won. Now, if they can just get that momentum again, they've knocked off everybody in the first 8 rounds. Maybe they can do it again in the finals.
Gee, I think you mentioned Vandenberg, but they've had Loney and Green and Cox, Lekas fighting back. And they've had 5 or 6 of their lesser lights just doing that little bit that the coach asks of them. And that all leads to the scoreline that shows them controlling this game. We've watched there Brett Kirk kick a goal for the Swans. That is Sydney's 11th goal, and Kirk has now kicked 3.
Well, he's nearly been a lone hand up forward, Brett Kirk. 2 centering kicks to teammates to should have set up goals early in this quarter. Very smart and unselfish play. He deserved that goal. Nearly best player for the Swans today, I would think. Close to.
3 goals to Brett Kirk, a couple to Adam Goods, and 2 goals to Jude Bolton. The rest are singles for the Swans. 18-14 to 11-7. The margin is 49 points in favour of Hawthorn.
That might be the last centre-bounce for this game. Tony Woods gets it forward, under pressure, Seymour, Chick. Swans, Dunkley clearing to the line. Maxfield, Chick, look at him, desperate, even in the last minute or so of the game. And the ball out of bounds. They're going to have to really carefully manage their list, Sydney, aren't they, in the years to come, because they're pretty old in terms of averages and so forth.
Well, Maxfield, Swass, Creswell,
Williams, Crouch into the back and away. Hawks trying to get one more. Tony Woods. He tried hard to get his first goal, but he just couldn't do it. So 45 seconds on the clock. And Hawthorn 18-15, 123. Ben Matthews, who's been okay for them today. It's been pretty good all year, in fact. 16 kicks and 8 handballs with the kicking in duties. Inside the last minute as Matthews brings it back into play. Dunkley the target with ball, just helping it on its way. Nick Holland lets it go for Green. Oh, he knew what he was doing. I'm not sure anyone else did. Through the middle. They can line up the Hawks. Here they come. Trent Crowe, the little goose step. He's got away over the top. Cox, they've sorted themselves out. One more for the road.
You know what was good about that, Hutto?
I know.
Another thing in the careers of young players. Cox, who hasn't played much, Green, who hasn't played much, and they're both in the play. I guess it's very late in the game, Tony, but gee, it's got to be terrific for these young fellas.
Now look at Green here. He kicked that ball out in front of him because he knew it was bouncing wrong, the way that it was bouncing at the start when he first went to it, Robbo. So the ball would bounce up and he didn't have to bend over. But you're right, there's the future. Green, Crowe, Cox runs on. And a great finish by Cox. That is the future of the club. Great to see.
They've got a terrific mix, haven't they, the Hawks, and they're going to go on now to play Port Adelaide in Adelaide Football Park next week. It's going to be a big try for them, but by gee, they're still in there with a chance. The kick there forward by Crouch, O'Loughlin, Kirk, can he get his fourth? It's going sailing through for a behind. Doesn't matter much to the Swans. The Hawks progress to the second week of the finals. They face Port Adelaide next week. It's a long summer ahead for Rodney Eade and Paul Roos and company for the Swans. The Hawks 19-15-129 have defeated the Swans 11-8-74. That margin 54 points, 55 points in favour of the Hawks. Daniel Chick, a goal kicker, he got 3. Barker kicked 4. A couple each to Crawford, Nathan Loney and Stephen Green. And the leading goal kicker for Sydney was Brett Kirk with 3.
Here's Dougie with Daniel Chick.
Thanks, Hutto. Chicky, you've been under the pump, the club. Everybody's written you off, the media, the football public. What a great way to answer them.
Yeah, it's been a tough few weeks and we've been down, and just a fantastic win. A few people can suck some eggs this week, I think.
And yourself, your form today was terrific, mate. Your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth effort, I thought was outstanding, son.
It's lacking a bit lately because I haven't played, but hopefully this run will give me a bit more fitness for next week, for sure.
What about the younger players? Young Loney, young Green, their first finals. They both kicked 2 goals, and they used the ball beautifully too, didn't they?
Yeah, they stepped up. It's always the way with the younger fellas under pressure, but yeah, they were fantastic. Really good.
What about the skipper, Shane Crawford? He's dancing too, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's back. He's back in a big way. He's running hard, breaking the lines, and that's when he's at his best.
Chicky, good luck, mate. Next week you got Port Adelaide over in Adelaide there, so it'll be a big one for you.
Thanks, Dougie. Good day to everyone back in Moonimaya.
Well done, Chicky. Good on you, mate.
Daniel Chick, 24 possessions, 5 marks, 8 tackles from Daniel Chick, and he's told the critics to suck eggs.
I haven't heard that term for a long period of time, but I don't know about that. They had to be criticised the way they have been playing. You don't play bad football and win 5 games in 13 weeks and expect to be patted on the back, Robbo.
No, fair.
But they have answered the critics, and that's what you have to do, come out and play football.
Well, if you haven't got any blood streaming through your system, if you can't play a final passionately like they did today.
Back down to Dougie.
Yeah, Stephen Green, you woke up this morning, son, you're playing your first finals. What was going through your mind?
Oh, it's the most exciting time of my life to be involved in a club that I've loved all my life, and seeing my dad playing so many was just fantastic to be involved.
And playing with the likes of Crawford, Chick and the Dixon, these type of guys.
Crawford's been my hero for life, and to play a final with him just sensational. Chicky's just Chicky was the factor today. His hardness was fantastic. Tomo, Woodsy, everyone's fantastic. Unbelievable team performance.
What about your boomerang from the boundary? It was a ripper guy, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, I was a bit lucky, you know.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, a bit of luck.
Greeny, good luck. Enjoy the night, mate. Port Adelaide next week.
Oh, thanks, Doug.
Good boy.
Oh, great day for Stephen Green and for the Hawthorn Footy Club. He sprints off to join his teammates after all the misery they've gone through this year, all the ups and a lot of downs. It's been one heck of a day today. After a pretty ordinary start, mind you. Swans led by 20 at one stage. They've absolutely thrashed them. And I think it's fair to say they are a happy team at Hawthorn just at the minute. 19-15, 129 to 11-8, 74. Plenty of gusto about the way they sang that today, and well they might be. 19-15, 129. Hawthorn have defeated the Sydney Swans 11-8, 74 at Colonial Stadium.